Anger is one of the most destructive emotions we experience. It clouds judgment, damages relationships, and creates suffering within ourselves and those around us. The Buddha recognized the dangers of anger and offered profound teachings on how to transform it into wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. In this guide, we explore the nature of anger, its root causes, and practical Buddhist techniques to overcome it. By following these teachings, we can free ourselves from anger's grip and cultivate a mind of patience, understanding, and serenity. 1. Understanding anger, the root causes. The Buddha taught that anger arises from three primary causes. A. Attachment and expectations. Anger is often born from our inability to accept reality as it is. We create expectations about people, situations, and outcomes, believing that life should unfold in a certain way. When these expectations are not met, frustration and resentment arise. We expect others to behave according to our standards and values. We become attached to material possessions, status, or relationships, fearing their loss. We resist change, even though impermanence is a fundamental law of existence. The stronger our attachment, the greater our anger when reality does not align with our desires. The key to overcoming this type of anger is to embrace impermanence and cultivate acceptance. When we stop clinging to expectations, we experience greater freedom and peace. How to overcome attachment-driven anger? Practice letting go, reflect on how clinging leads to suffering and how acceptance leads to peace. Develop gratitude, shift focus from what is lacking to what is already present. Use impermanence as a guide, remind yourself that everything changes, including the reasons for your anger. B. Ego and pride. The ego thrives on identity, superiority, and validation. When someone challenges our beliefs, criticizes us, or treats us unfairly, the ego perceives it as a threat, and anger rises as a defense mechanism. We take things personally and react impulsively. We hold grudges to protect our pride. We seek revenge to restore our sense of self-importance. But the ego itself is an illusion. The Buddha taught that what we call self is merely a collection of changing thoughts, emotions, and experiences. By understanding the emptiness of ego, we can let go of pride-driven anger and respond with humility and wisdom. How to overcome ego-driven anger? Recognize impermanence in identity. The self is ever-changing, clinging to it only brings suffering. Shift focus from me to we, practice selflessness and compassion in daily interactions. Engage in humility practices, let go of the need to be right or to control how others perceive you. C. Fear and insecurity. Many forms of anger are rooted in fear and insecurity. When we feel threatened, physically, emotionally, or psychologically, anger often arises as a form of self-protection. Fear of losing control makes us lash out at others. Fear of abandonment leads to jealousy and possessiveness. Fear of failure or humiliation causes us to react defensively. Recognizing that anger is often a mask for deeper fears allows us to address the underlying issues rather than simply reacting. Instead of suppressing anger, we can acknowledge our fears with mindfulness and self-compassion, allowing them to dissolve naturally. How to overcome fear-driven anger? Identify the root fear. Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of in this situation? Use mindfulness techniques, observe fear without becoming consumed by it. Reframe perspectives, view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to security. 2. The consequences of anger. Anger doesn't just affect others, it destroys our own inner peace and creates suffering in ways we may not even realize. And the mental and emotional toll. Anger clouds judgment, leading to irrational decisions. It fuels negative thinking, making us feel trapped in resentment. Chronic anger contributes to stress, anxiety, and depression. B. The physical damage. Scientific studies show that anger increases blood pressure and weakens the immune system. It triggers the fight or flight response, leading to long-term health issues. It drains our energy, leaving us exhausted and tense. C. The karmic consequences. In Buddhism, anger creates negative karma, affecting our present and future experiences. When we act out of anger, we plant seeds of suffering for ourselves and others. The more we feed anger, the more it becomes a habit, shaping our character in future rebirths. Recognizing these negative consequences is the first step in breaking free from anger's grip. How to prevent the harmful effects of anger. Pause before reacting. Give yourself time to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. Practice deep breathing. Use breath awareness to diffuse anger's intensity. Engage in acts of kindness. Counteract anger's effects by cultivating positive energy through compassionate actions. By deeply understanding the roots of anger, we empower ourselves to take conscious steps toward dissolving its hold on us. Through mindfulness, self-reflection, and the cultivation of compassion, we can transform anger from a destructive force into a tool for inner growth and deeper connection with others. 3. Buddhist strategies to overcome anger. Practicing mindfulness, sati. Mindfulness allows us to observe anger without becoming consumed by it. When anger arises, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Notice where anger manifests in the body: tight chest, clenched jaw, racing thoughts. Observe the emotion without judgment, simply acknowledge its presence. By witnessing anger instead of identifying with it, we create space between feeling and reaction. B. Cultivating loving kindness, metta meditation. Loving kindness meditation helps dissolve anger by replacing resentment with compassion and goodwill. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Silently repeat, "May I be happy. May I be free from suffering." Extend this wish to the person who caused anger. May they be happy. May they be free from suffering. Continue expanding this feeling of kindness to all beings. This practice softens the heart and transforms anger into understanding. C. Practicing patience, khanti. Patience is the antidote to anger. The Buddha compared patience to a solid rock that remains unmoved by the wind. When provoked, pause before responding. Remind yourself that reacting with anger only fuels suffering. Develop a long-term perspective. Will this matter in a week? A year? A lifetime? Patience turns moments of frustration into opportunities for growth. D. Understanding impermanence, anicca. Everything in life, including anger, is temporary. By remembering that emotions rise and fall like waves in the ocean. The person who angered us today may not be the same tomorrow. Situations change, and holding on to anger is futile. We can learn to let go instead of holding on. E. Reflecting on cause and effect, karma. Before acting in anger, consider: what karmic consequences will my actions create? Will this response bring peace or more suffering? How would the Buddha respond in this situation? Awareness of karma helps us choose wisdom over impulse. F. Transforming anger into compassion. Often, those who cause us harm are suffering themselves. The Buddha taught that people act out of ignorance and pain. Instead of resenting them, we can offer compassion. This shift in perception frees us from the burden of anger. Try asking yourself, what suffering might this person be experiencing? This simple question can turn resentment into empathy. For integrating these teachings into daily life. Overcoming anger is a lifelong practice, but every moment offers an opportunity to cultivate peace. To make meaningful progress, start small. Focus on recognizing and managing minor irritations before tackling deeper anger. Develop self-awareness. Keep a journal of triggers and patterns to understand your emotional responses. Surround yourself with wisdom, read Buddhist teachings, listen to Dharma talks, and engage with experienced practitioners. Commit to daily meditation. Regular meditation strengthens mindfulness and reduces reactivity. Cultivate patience. Accept that transformation takes time and celebrate small victories. Engage in acts of kindness. Responding to anger with compassion fosters a habit of peace. Reflect on impermanence. Recognizing the temporary nature of anger helps prevent attachment to emotional turmoil. Apply the Noble Eightfold Path. Right speech, right effort, and right mindfulness create the foundation for emotional balance. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you will gradually rewire emotional habits, allowing you to replace anger with understanding, patience, and wisdom. Through consistent effort, the energy of anger can be transformed into a force for deep personal growth and compassion. Folded hands, may you find peace, wisdom, and freedom from anger. Conclusion: anger is not an enemy, but a teacher. When approached with mindfulness, patience, and compassion, it becomes an opportunity for profound spiritual growth. The Buddha's wisdom provides a timeless path to transforming anger into peace, understanding, and love. By applying these teachings, we not only free ourselves from suffering but also contribute to a more compassionate world. Folded hands, may you find peace, wisdom, and freedom from anger.